भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम। In the whole last section, the first Mundaka of the second section, we saw the entire world of names and forms, beginning from Akasha, Vayu, etc., up to this body and sense organs and the mind and everything, is nothing but from Akshara Purusha. Hence, they are non-separate from Akshara Purusha. At the same time, when that Akshara Purusha or that Chaitanya, when it manifests through Antakarana, then the same Akshara becomes the subject. The Akshara Purusha is world. The world is its manifestation. World is not separate from him. And at the same time, Akshara Purusha is the subject as well. This should be understood thoroughly. Then you have understood Vedanta. It is formless. Adrishyam, agrahyam, chakshu, ashotram, avarnam, ityadi. At the same time, all the forms are not separate from him. It is formless, and at the same time, all the forms. It is the subject, at the same time, all the objects. Whatever you see, whatever you perceive, even the thoughts, that is Akshara, non-separate from. That is Purna Gnana. That is Purnatvam, fullness. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyati. This is full, that is full. And from full, the full has come. You know, that is possible only when you understand this. The whole Srishti is in the form, is names and form. And all these names and form are because of Maya. That is Upadana Karanam. And in that Maya Karyam, in that Upadana Karyam, Maya Upadana Krita Karyam, the world, this body is also part of the world. Sukshma Sharira also is a part of the creation. And when the consciousness manifests through Sukshma Sharira, it becomes the subject. So you have to know the consciousness both ways. You have to know the Brahman completely in two ways. Its nature is the subject and its manifestation is the world. Very peculiar. Its manifestation is the world. And when I say world, it includes my physio-psycho-complex, everything. And what is its Swarupa? Whose manifestation is this world in a way, or better, the world is not separated from me. So many say ornaments are not separate from the gold, and you can as well say all the ornaments, if you understand the statement, all the ornaments are nothing but different manifestations of the gold in different shape, different forms, and different names. Ultimately, it is the gold. A 100,000 ornaments is gold's manifestation in different forms, and the shine and the yellowness is gold Swarupa. I, the consciousness, is the Swarupa, and the world is manifestation of consciousness in different forms and different names. Exactly like all the ornaments are different forms and names, manifestation of gold. Now, this is very subtle, a little difficult also to get. So, again, there is one more section. Again, there is one more Mundaka, which further or in a different way explains or unfolds this particular truth, this particular vision, this particular essence or tatparya of all the teachings. All Vedantic teachings' essence is this, that whole world is non-separate from Brahman, its manifestation of Brahman through Maya Shakti, and the same Brahman when it manifests through subtle body, mind, it becomes the subject. And the whole world, which is its own manifestation, becomes the object. The Brahman, when it starts manifesting through, listen this sentence carefully, through Maya Shakti, the whole creation comes out from Brahman only. Therefore, it becomes a Vivarta Upadana Karanam. The Jagat is nothing but manifestation of Brahman in different names and forms. But the same Brahman, when it manifests through subtle body, or you can say mind, it becomes the subject and the world becomes the object. That is why we say it is Maya. Or that is why there is a Gujarati bhajan, Brahma latka kare, Brahma saath hai. Brahman is playing with a Brahman as though. That is where this Agnanam comes in. Tamasi Maya or Kama Karmadi Dushitam Satvikam Maya. That Doshita Maya, that Maya which as though does Kalushanam, means creates ignorance about self. The fellow becomes the subject and the world becomes the object, where the fact is that subject, that jiva, the fellow who thinks I am small, the fellow who thinks I am limited and dukhi and here, etc., is Jagat Karan. So he is non-separate from the world is non-separate from that fellow. That is not knowing the fact. That is where the ignorance cause samsara comes. So this truth is again unfolded in next section. Just look at these mantras. Please understand, the formless Brahman needs to be, how to connect to yourself. You have to recognize that Brahman in every situation. Every situation is not separate from Brahman. And in that situation, what you feel is again not separate from Brahman. And the feeler, the one who feels, is also non-separate from Brahman. The very experiencer experienced, and the very experience is all Brahman's manifestation. And an experiencer is the Swarupa of Brahman. Okay? Look at the first mantra in the second chapter, second Mundaka. Avissannihitam guhacharam nama. Avissannihitam guhacharam nama. Mahatpadam atrai samarpitam. Mahatpadam atrai samarpitam. Ejat pranan nimishaccha yadetat. Ejat pranan nimishaccha yadetat. Janatha sadasatvarenyam param. Janatha sadasatvarenyam param. Vignanat varishtham prajanam. Vignanat varishtham prajanam. Again. Avissannihitam guhacharam nama. Mahatpadam atrai samarpitam. Avissannihitam guhacharam nama. Mahatpadam atrai samarpitam. Ejat pranan nimishaccha yadetat. Janatha sadasatvarenyam. Ejat pranan nimishaccha yadetat. Janatha sadasatvarenyam. Param vignanat varishtham prajanam. Param vignanat prajanam. Avi sannihitam guhacharam nama. Nama is not name here. Nama is that which is famous, that which is known to all. That is, it is well known to all. What? That Brahman is what? Avihi sannihitam. Self-shining, sannihitam, very near. Mahat padam. Mahat means limitless. The limitless abode, the limitless end of everything. That is called Mahat padam. Avisannihitam nama Mahat padam. Atra etat samarpitam. Etat sarvam. All this, atra samarpitam. They're all is samarpitam is not surrendered. Everything is placed as though, or everything, all this exists as though. All this is because of whom? That is called atra etat samarpitam. And that is Mahat Padam. It is limitless abode of everything. Okay. Ejat pranat nimishaccha yadetat. Ejat Pranat nimishatcha ejat. Yat ejat, yat that moves. Yat nimishat, that wings. Okay. That pranat, that means that breathes. What? That Brahman wings, moves and breathes. Yadetat janat. May you know that Brahman. Or may you know Brahman as that. And what is that? Sadasat Varenyam. Okay. Okay. And Varishtham etat janat Varenyam yad vignanat Varishtham Varenyam. Okay. What is it? Sadasat. Sat means that which is. Asat means that which is not. Mean that is and is not. Mean with the forms, that Sat means the forms and Asat means the formless. That which is with the form and formless. Varishtham. Varishtham means free from any kind of limitations. Varenyam means most adorable, most exalted. That is Varenyam. Sadasat Varenyam. Sadasat Varishtham. Vignanat Param Prajana. Okay. Mutyat Vignanat Param. It is beyond knowledge. Means it is beyond all your known means of knowledge. That means you cannot comprehend it through your means of knowledge. Varenyam Vignanat Param. Varishtham we saw, and Prajanam Janatha. It is Varishtham means the most exalted. Prajanam means all beings. Okay. And through all beings, Tad Prajanam, of all beings. And may you know this as yourself. Or may you know this as Brahman. Brahman is this. That is the answer. Okay. Now, let us see these words one by one. Okay. The Antakaranam, as we studied, is created by Brahman as though. It's a manifestation of Brahman through Tamasi Maya, through its Upadhi called Maya. It is there. That Antakaranam by nature is inert. But when it comes in contact with Brahman, it becomes sentient. The consciousness through Antakaranam manifests as sentiency. The whole Sukshma Sharira, though Jada, becomes sentient, and its contact with the Sthula Sharira makes that Sthula Sharira also sentient. Listen, when this Sukshma Sharira comes in contact with Brahman, it becomes sentient. That's how the Jiva takes place. But the answer is further. That's Brahman being everywhere, Brahman being all pervasive. Wherever the Antakarana is, it will come in contact with it. And it will manifest as a subject there. Exactly like your small piece of mirror. Mirror is not an illuminating object. self-illuminating. It doesn't have its own illumination. Much less it can illuminate others. But that mirror, when it comes to in contact with the sunlight, it gains the capacity to illumine something else. It itself becomes a source of light, which it is not. And sun being everywhere, wherever the mirror goes, sun manifests. Similarly, the consciousness being everywhere, a particular antakaranam, wherever it goes, it comes in contact with consciousness, and therefore, like that mirror becoming source of light, illumination, antakaran also becomes illumination. Individual is born. That individual I is there. That union is called sahajatadhara. Okay? Natural identification. That's how it is. And then to take myself that much is another issue. But the sun will definitely get reflected in a piece, in a small mirror, wherever it is. It will become illuminated wherever it is. That is natural. So this is called sahajatadhara, natural. The chaitanyam, consciousness which obtains in antakaranam as a limited being is natural. Like even the big sun, limitless sun relatively, which obtains in 4 inch by 4 inch sun mirror, that much small size, is nature. Because sun is everywhere, mirror has a capacity to reflect the sun, and the reflection will be true to the size of the mirror. If mirror is 2 feet, reflection would be bigger, and it will emanate more heat and more light. Depends upon the size of the mirror. So also consciousness may vary in its own manifestation. But that is because of upadhi, not consciousness by itself is like. Okay? So, that knower is natural. Because manifestation is natural, sahajam. The knower will be there. Whenever antakarana is, the pramata is. Well, if it is awake, if it is sleeping, pramata may not. Now, how it is, that individual who thinks itself to be limited, he says, avihi. Avihi means prakashaswam. Avis means self-shining, self-revealing, self-existing. That is avihi. It is avyaya, indeclinable. Word is avis, then it becomes avihi. That is self-shining. Ava, avihi comes from the root ava, to protect also. One that protects everything. How? In being what it is. In a way, gold protects all the ornaments to be what they are. For the chain to be chain, for the bangle to be bangle, for the ring to be ring, because gold is there, substrate. So it is though protects. So, protector. So we chant, avatu mam, avatu vaktaram, avatu vaktaram, etc. Avatu, may you protect the speaker. May you protect me. That's a prayer. Ava, protector. Then, sannihitam. Samyak sthitam, it is sannihitam. Samyak means buddhau sthitam, it is sannihitam. It remains shining and it is seated, or it is very close to Sannihitam. Where it is? Buddhau antahkarane. It is there in your heart. This is views figurative. See, realize the consciousness in your heart. And then you keep looking in the heart. Nothing is there. You will have a heart attack if you keep looking in that heart. Heart means Buddha. It is right in Antak. Right word is Antakkar. As aham, aham, aham. It is there in Antakkaranam as what? I. As a sentiency, conscious being, manifesting all the time. Sannihitam, very near. Every experience is because of it. The very experiencer is because of it. The objects are because of it. So nothing is away from. That is called Sannihitam. Samyak Nihitam, very close. What can be closer than I to myself? I am the closest to myself. So it is said figuratively, Sannihitam. It is near. And then what he says? Guhacharam. Guhacharam. What is it? Guhayam charati. One who keeps moving in cave. These are words that take it literally. In the cave of heart. Meditate deep in the cave of heart and realize what you will realize. I think I have a blockage in the heart. I better go for some stent or some bypass or something, This is not. This sannihitam, guhahitam, buddhi is a cave, like a cave, like a heart, as though it is residing in heart. Look at the heart. Look at your heart. That means you have to see, study Shastra and look at that. Who am I? If you say, look at who am I, then there will be Swam Gurus. We don't want to study who am I, who am I, who am I. Atma will manifest. Fact that you are asking who am I is manifestation of Atma. That you cannot quite very sense or very capacity to question and to be aware of the problem and seeking solution as to who am I itself is manifestation of consciousness. It is available, but not hidden. But then, in this Buddha, all the pratyas, drashta, shruta, mukta, etc., are nothing but manifestation of the consciousness. Okay? It is the same consciousness that manifests as these, and it is called guha, as though gufa. In the cave, there is darkness. How much darkness? It is limitless darkness. When darkness came, no limit for it. It is from their beginning. Now, in that gufa, there is total darkness. And darkness symbolizes ignorance. Buddhi is called guha. Because just as in that darkness, you don't see yourself. But forget about the friend. So, Buddhi is a gufa where the self is lost. The self shall manifest there. So it is called Buddhi gufa. Guhayam nama mahat padam. Mahat padam. Padam means padaniyam gamaniyam. The most exalted place to be. Okay. And it is guhahitam because there is no experience possible without him. Can you have an experience of anything without you being there? You can have virtual meet. You being, I not being there. Somebody still in Dubai and somebody Canada and somebody US. That too in eastern coast and west coast and middle, thousands of miles away. Each one is away. Correct? Similarly, different vrittis are there, but all vrittis are because of the consciousness. Then what can be closer than that? Different people are away, but virtually as though they are closer, you can see them. So also similarly, consciousness is away, but every experience involves aham, and every experience there is experiencer, experienced, that is not separate from Brahman. That is called guha. Then it is no more guha. Okay, and it is no more dark cave of meditation. It is no more dark. It is self-revealing, and therefore you don't need anything else. You don't need extra experience. I want to experience consciousness. Okay? No experience is possible without consciousness. All your experiences takes place only because of consciousness. And that once it is gone, there is nothing left. This is figurative. Like gold, when it walks out of the bangle, there is nothing left. But that is without walking out also, it should know there is no real bangle. It is me only manifesting as bangle. Understand? So also this guha hitam gahvareshtam, in here we have to consider all variable experiences are because of that Brahman, and you don't need any separate experience. Okay, look. Guha hitam sannihitam mahat padam. Mahat also means limitless. Padam means abode. That which is the limitless and abode of all beings, without whom or without which that nothing can be ease. The easiness belongs to Brahman. Sannihitam guhahitam gahvareshtam. Gahvareshtam means what? In between he says, Tadetat pranat nimishat. It moves. All that movement of water and air, including all of them, is Brahman. They can move because of Brahman. And they move because of Brahman. Therefore, it says all that moves ejat. Then comes nimishat, that winks, that breathes. That means all sentient men and animal and women and aquatic animals, all. Yad ejat nimishat pranat. That its moves is also from the standpoint of upadhi. It breathes also is from the standpoint of upadhi. And it is varanyam. Varanyam means what? Most exalted. Vara plus anyam becomes varanyam. That which is most worshipped, that which is most exalted, that which is most respected, that which is most wanted. What is that? Wanted is Tathakarate is Bhagavan. But that answer is Brahman, because that is happiness. And everybody wants happiness. Absolute happiness. If not relatively, you want the happiness. So, Varanyam means it is Ananda. Ananda Swarupa. Ananda Swarupa means what? That also you should know. Whenever there is happiness, there is love for it. Manifestation of Ananda in Vyavahara, in emotion, is what? Is tapas, giving, making others happy. Therefore, we say that Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yonah Prachodayat. Most sought after is happiness. And its expression is love. Whenever there is love, there is happiness. Wherever there is happiness, there is a love for it. So, that Brahman is like this. Varenyam, Varishtham. Okay. And how it is? He says, Tadetat Janat. May you know this Brahman. Okay? How should you know? And why should you know? Vijnanat varam prajanam tajjanat. It is beyond your comprehension through sense organ. May you know that Brahman as this. Okay? It is all that moves and shines and talks. And at the same time, it is a very subject or the consciousness because of which everything takes place. May you know if should you want moksha. And it is the one, the Varanyam, the each one, no? Okay. Now it continues next mantra. Look at that. Yadarchimat anubhyo anucha yadarchimat anubhyo anucha yasmin loka nihita lokinascha yasmin loka nihita lokinascha tadetadaksharam brahma sapranaha tadetadakshara brahma sapranaha taduvang manaha tadetat satyam tadamrutam tadvedhavyam saumya vidhi. Laughter. The previous section, first section, began with the mantra Divyo Hyamurta Purusha. Previous section began with the same thing. That means, so far, whatever section we have studied, they all imply one thing, that nothing is separate from Brahman, including you. That means you are Brahman. That Pratyagatma is Brahman, and Pratyagatma is the substratum of everything, that which is here, hereafter, or America, or India, or whatever. Okay. I think next mantra we can start next week. Now it is since Diwali festival, so many are busy, typical Indian festival. So I don't want to start and leave the mantra. We'll see it next Monday, next Saturday, Sunday. I don't know. Next Saturday, we may not have class. We'll start the classes from 13th only. 13th of November. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.